Imagine stepping into a pair of shoes that were once a punchline, only to discover they become the symbol of cool overnight. That's exactly what happened with New Balance. A brand once mocked as the ultimate dad shoe, that's now the fastest growing sneaker giant in the industry. While Nike built an empire in Michael Jordan and Adidas gambled everything on Kanye West, New Balance was playing an entirely different game. They rejected the celebrity playbook and still managed to outgrow both competitors. What if the secret to explosive growth wasn't celebrity endorsements at all? That's the billion-dollar question we're answering today. What if I told you New Balance's billion-dollar empire started with chicken feet? Yes, you heard that right. While Nike's origin traces back to track athletes and Adidas began with soccer cleats, New Balance's story began with a British immigrant named William J. Riley, who had his eyes on something most people would overlook. It's 1906 in Boston, Massachusetts. Riley, observing chickens in his yard, noticed something remarkable that would transform footwear forever. These birds maintain perfect balance through their three-pronged feet, a seemingly random detail that, like many of nature's hidden secrets, contained the blueprint for innovation. This observation sparked an idea that would eventually build a sneaker empire. "I want to help people who stand all day," Riley told potential customers. While competitors focused on athletic performance or style, Riley concentrated on solving an everyday problem: foot pain for working people, police officers, firefighters, postal workers. Everyday heroes spending hours on their feet became Riley's first customers, not athletes or fashion icons. Riley translated his chicken feet observation into a revolutionary arch support system with 3 distinct contact points, creating optimal balance and weight distribution. This 3-point design became the foundation for the company's name, New Balance. The product prioritized comfort during long workdays over flashy aesthetics. The early New Balance didn't even make complete shoes. Riley sold only the arch supports, custom fitting them to workers who needed relief. Word spread among Boston civil servants: if your feet hurt after long shifts, Riley could help. This practical approach established the brand's enduring identity: function over flash, substance over style, and genuine solutions over marketing hype. This humble beginning contrasts sharply with competitors' athletic origins. While Phil Knight and Bill Bowerman focused on making track stars run faster, Riley was fitting arch supports for mail carriers. While Adi Dassler crafted soccer cleats for Germany's national team, New Balance helped everyday workers stand comfortably through grueling shifts. Riley's founding principle, prioritizing practical function over fashionable form, would eventually come full circle. Decades later, when fashion trends shifted toward authenticity and heritage, New Balance maintained its original approach. The market finally caught up to what Riley understood from the beginning: solving real problems creates lasting value. That commitment to solving real problems rather than chasing trends would ironically become New Balance's greatest asset decades later. While Nike and Adidas were battling for cultural dominance in the late 80s and 90s, New Balance settled comfortably into a very different role: the shoe your dad wore while mowing the lawn on Saturday mornings. It wasn't a glamorous position, but it was honest. The sneaker world grew increasingly image-obsessed. Nike had Michael Jordan defying gravity in Chicago, Adidas had Run DMC strutting without laces in New York, and New Balance had middle-aged men with grass-stained 999s in suburbia. This uncool reputation appeared fatal in an industry fueled by hype and cultural relevance. Yet New Balance stubbornly maintained its core values of comfort, quality craftsmanship, and practical design. Enter Steve Jobs, who unexpectedly bridged the gap between suburban practicality and visionary thinking. For over a decade, the Apple co-founder made gray New Balance 992s part of his iconic uniform alongside blue jeans and a black turtleneck. The man who built Apple's empire on simplicity, functionality, and quality recognized those same values in New Balance. His consistent choice during product reveals quietly associated the brand with innovation and uncompromising standards, the very qualities that defined Apple's success. By 2017, a remarkable transformation began. Balenciaga released its Triple S sneaker, a chunky, oversized design retailing for $1,000. This high-fashion embrace of ugliness signaled a cultural shift. The very features that had relegated New Balance to dad shoe status suddenly embodied cutting-edge style. A perfect alignment of factors accelerated this change. 90s nostalgia swept through youth culture, bringing renewed appreciation for authentic designs. The inflated sneaker resale market pushed consumers towards stylish alternatives available at retail prices. As athleisure dominated wardrobes, comfort became a priority rather than a compromise. The most remarkable aspect of New Balance's resurrection was its authenticity. The 990 series, 574s, and 2002Rs weren't new designs created to chase trends. They were the same reliable silhouettes New Balance had always produced. The market had finally caught up to what New Balance understood all along. There's enduring value in something built with care, designed for comfort, and made to last. New Balance wasn't just riding a wave of coincidental fashion trends. Behind the scenes, a quiet revolution was brewing in their marketing approach. While Nike and Adidas were writing nine-figure checks to celebrities, the son of New Balance's owner was crafting a strategy so unconventional it seemed destined to fail. Yet this formula, just 3 simple numbers, would transform the company's cultural footprint without breaking the bank. Meet Chris Davis, who started at New Balance in 2008 and climbed the ranks before officially joining the leadership team in 2016. By 2020, he'd secured the position of Chief Marketing Officer and was ready to implement his vision. The challenge? Building cultural relevance with just a fraction of the marketing budget that competitors commanded. Imagine having a secret recipe that could unlock cultural relevance without spending like the giants. That's exactly what Davis created with the 50-30-20 formula, a revolutionary approach to allocating marketing resources. Davis divided New Balance's marketing budget into 3 strategic buckets: 50% for proven, reliable tactics that delivered consistent results, 30% for calculated risks with reasonable potential for success, and 20% for experimental projects that could create breakthrough moments despite potential failure. This approach fundamentally transformed how New Balance built cultural influence. By dedicating a fifth of their budget to experimental initiatives, they took creative risks that larger, more bureaucratic competitors couldn't justify to shareholders. The formula manifested in surprising ways. One experimental project involved opening a pub in London where runners exchanged Strava miles for pints of beer, creating a genuine community hub that connected with runners more authentically than any billboard ever could. These real-world experiences fostered loyalty and turned customers into advocates. For the calculated risks portion, New Balance focused on strategic collaborations, particularly with Aimé Leon Dore. Teddy Santis, the founder of the New York fashion label, brought a retro aesthetic that perfectly complemented New Balance's heritage designs, positioning the brand in cultural conversations that previously excluded them. The genius of 50-30-20 was its balance. While experimental projects grabbed headlines, half the resources remained dedicated to proven tactics driving reliable sales. This allowed New Balance to compete for cultural relevance without entering bidding wars, draining competitors' budgets. Instead of outspending Nike or Adidas, New Balance outthought them. When your competitors are spending billions on athlete endorsements, logic says you can't compete. But what if the entire industry had been approaching sports marketing backward all along? New Balance wasn't thinking differently. They were rewriting the entire playbook with their inch-wide, mile-deep strategy. While Nike and Adidas fought bidding wars for every superstar they could find, New Balance made a counterintuitive bet: quality over quantity. Rather than casting a wide net across dozens of athletes, they chose to drill deep, like an artisan perfecting a single masterpiece. They focused intensely on select few athletes who embodied the brand's authentic values, a brilliant strategic insight that perfectly extended their formula for success. The turning point came in 2019 when New Balance signed Kawhi Leonard. The timing proved perfect. That same year, the famously quiet, no-nonsense superstar led the Toronto Raptors to their first NBA championship while earning Finals MVP honors. Suddenly, New Balance established legitimate basketball credibility. What made the Leonard signing brilliant was how his personality aligned with New Balance's brand identity. In a sport filled with flashy personalities and highlight reel dunks, Leonard's understated demeanor and focus on performance over spectacle mirrored exactly what New Balance stood for: substance over style, results over hype. Building on this success, New Balance continued their focused approach by partnering with athletes transforming their sports. Shohei Ohtani revolutionizing baseball as a two-way threat, followed by Coco Gauff bringing fresh energy to tennis, and Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone breaking track records. New Balance separated from competitors by celebrating each athlete's unique qualities rather than molding them into a predetermined brand image. This created deeper, authentic connections with audiences. This authenticity extended to product development. With Bukayo Saka, they analyzed his actual in-game movement data to develop the speed control stud for the Furin V8 boot, engineering equipment specifically for his playing style. This athlete-driven innovation created a virtuous cycle. Better performing products enhanced athlete performance, validating New Balance's commitment to depth over breadth. While competitors focused on quantity of athletes, New Balance invested in quality of relationships. And the numbers speak for themselves. In 2022, New Balance hit $5.3 billion in revenue, a staggering 21% increase from the previous year. Even more impressive, they're projecting to reach $7 billion by 2023. This represents the culmination of a strategy that turned conventional wisdom on its head. While competitors burned cash on celebrity bidding wars, New Balance built something more sustainable, a brand with authentic roots. The lesson transcends sneakers. It exemplifies business courage. Success often comes from charting your own course and letting the world catch up to your vision. What industry conventions might you challenge in your business to create something truly revolutionary?